This is going to be a demonstration of the Matthew Walker knot, which is the one that I usually use to finish off a bracelet. It's actually just an overhand knot done over and over again. Everybody knows how to do an overhand. You just pull it through the loop. But in this case, right here we have 3 strands, separate colors, makes it easier. So I tie the first one around everything, pull it through, tie the second one around. Notice I'm pulling it through its own loop. Take the third one, lay it around, pull it through its own loop. And now I snug one up, I snug the next one up, I snug the third one up. Not too tight, just a little bit. And then I go around a little bit here, a little bit there. If you tighten one of them too much, you can't get the other ones. Notice it makes a pretty little spiral. I made it separate colors so you could actually see the spiral shape. You can sort of pull on it and make it smooth. Anyway, so that's how that works. That's a Matthew Walker knot with 3 strands. But 3, let's go for a little bit more. I'm using 2 colors in this bracelet. Makes it easier to see the alternating strands. I tie a little bit of thread around the 4 strands to hold them in place. Seizing is the word for it. I don't pull the seizing too tight yet because I want to make sure it's close to the knot, close to the bracelet. I don't want the tassel knot to be too far away. So I smooth it in. I make sure that those 4 strands are alternating colors. And I actually pull each one and twist slightly to make sure that it's nice and even. There. You notice each one gets a little bit. And then I take the clove hitch, the seizing that I used, and I'm going to tighten that up. So that locks it into place. And then I just make sure that's not going anywhere by putting another knot on top of it. So now, ready to go. Where are we? 4 strands. Only did 3 before. At 4, why don't we just split them up? Each one of those strands is going to be 3 strands. You just untwist them and pull them apart. 12 of them, so we're going to go quick. Once you've done one, you can do all of them. Now we got all 12 strands, 6 of each, 6 white, 6 gray. And now it's time to tie it. Now this time you notice I'm flipping the loop over the other way. That's because when I twist it to make the twist tighter, and I let the loop that it forms determine which way I lay the knot. Did a gray one, then a white one. Pull it through, looking for another gray one. You notice it makes a loop with the others, comes through itself. Another white one, loops around, comes through itself. At the moment there's plenty of room. I could have left the ends a little bit longer and made myself even more room by making a bigger loop. You notice also that I'm laying the individual strands next to each other along the back there. So black, white, black, white, black, white, etc. Easier to keep track that way. goes around. You notice I just open it up and there's the strand, I pull it through. So far so good. Need another white one. Giving it that little half twist makes that loop form right up. Pull it through. And another gray one. Sometimes they're hard to grab. Lay it around, pull it through. It's starting to get a little harder. And what I'll do is usually poke something through there and grab it. So there's my little wooden fid. I loop the end of the string around the back of it and just flip it over and out comes the end. Makes it easy. I just can poke that right through the hole and lay it there while I put the next one in. There goes through. There's the end caught behind. Flip it up, pop it out. I could have done that with all of them, but the first few were so easy I didn't need to. And each one of them has to go all the way around everything and come out through its own loop as well as all of the others. So you don't want to cross them up at this point because it can have disastrous effects later. Yeah, doesn't look that good, does it? That's all right, it'll get better. What we're going to do is we're going to take each individual strand a little bit tighter. So white, black, another white, another black, and so on. You notice I'm not pulling hard. I just pull it until it's close to where it's going to go. And I leave a little bit. If you pull one of them really, really tight, then you can't pull on the others because there's too much friction. And got a little distracted while I was doing that, so I went off the frame. But you can see that I'm just grabbing individual strands and pulling a little bit. There it's coming back. And around, and around, and around. You notice with two colors, I can tell which one I should be looking for next just because it's changed black, white, black, white, black. Now I do want to make sure that this is down close to the bracelet. Remember, I pulled the seizing down close to the bracelet. When I pull lines out of the center of the knot like that, what it does is it just rolls the whole mass down toward where the seizing is. And I can go around, pull a little harder, still not too hard. I just want to take those loose places out. That's going around, and going around, and going around, around, each one of them. So, and so. Notice it's looking a little bit better. Still kind of chaotic, because you got places where the lines don't lie in alternating patterns. What you do is you just roll around and pull each loop across from where the end comes out and make sure that it lays next to the one next to it all the way down. No crossings, no twistings. I usually go around a couple of times to make sure I didn't miss anything, and having the previous ones in place makes it easier to get the next ones. You can also go back the other way. I was pulling it up away from the bracelet before, now I'm pulling it down toward the bracelet. And that helps. It just keeps everything clean. Notice there's a place there where it's a little confused. Those were twisted over each other, and so the alternating pattern needed to be fixed. Anyway, and just keep doing that and keep doing that. So, there it is. Almost right. We take the pick and we can go through and we can push on each one of those loops. I like to push it down toward the bracelet. That actually is tightening the knot a little and smoothing it a little, bringing the ends together under my left hand and pulling away from it with my right hand. All of the paths are nice and straight, well, spiraled. Looks pretty good. Doesn't have to be totally perfect, but it does look okay. I can go through and I can pull each little strand once around, but this one looks clean enough. I'm just going to pull the whole thing. Roll it out a little bit, pull, roll it out a little bit and pull. Okay. And you can see the tassel is fairly close to the knot. Would have liked it a little closer, but I think that's fine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it.